Ever heard the phrase, he's as old as Methuselah? It's usually tossed around when your grandpa tells the same story for the 800th time, or when your family microwave finally breaks down after 30 years of faithful service. But have you ever stopped to wonder, who was Methuselah really? And just how old was this guy? According to Genesis 5:27, Methuselah lived a total of 969 years, and then he died. 969. That's not a typo. That's nearly 1,000 years of birthdays, ancient dentist appointments, and probably at least a few awkward family reunions. Now you may be asking, was Methuselah literally that old? Or is this just some ancient metaphor for very experienced? Let's break it down and have some fun doing it. First off, Methuselah was the son of Enoch, and Enoch, get this, never died. Genesis says he walked with God and then was no more. Translation: God just took him. No funeral, no tombstone, just straight up beamed into eternity. So Methuselah was already starting life with a pretty epic family story. Then Methuselah had a son named Lamech, and Lamech had a son named Noah. You know, boat guy? Animals? Massive worldwide flood? So yes, Methuselah was Noah's grandfather. And here's where it gets interesting. Scholars believe Methuselah died the same year the flood came. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe he held out until the absolute last second, said, "Okay, Lord, I've seen enough," and peaced out right before the first raindrop hit. 969 years. To put that in perspective, that's like being born in the time of King David and still being around for the invention of TikTok. Methuselah would have watched civilizations rise, languages evolve, and probably seen the invention of sandals twice. Now, let's ask the question everyone's thinking. How? How did someone live that long? Was it divine favor? A lack of processed food? Or was Methuselah just really into CrossFit? We don't know. But we do know that people in those early chapters of Genesis lived much longer than we do now. Adam lived 930 years. Noah clocked in at 950. Clearly, these weren't your average lifespan numbers. Some scholars believe that early atmosphere, genetics, and divine protection allowed for longer lives. Others think the numbers are symbolic, meant to emphasize legacy, impact, and how long someone's influence stretched. But whether literal or symbolic, here's the real message. Methuselah lived longer than anyone else recorded in the Bible, but we know almost nothing about what he did. No epic speeches, no Red Sea parting moments, no lions or giants or battles. Just one sentence. He lived 969 years, and then he died. That's kind of haunting, isn't it? To live nearly a millennium and still be summarized in a single verse. Which brings us to the real wisdom moment. It's not how long you live, it's what you do while you're here. Methuselah may have lived longer than anyone, but his father Enoch, who only lived 365 years, gets the shout out for walking with God. So maybe the lesson isn't about age or endurance. Maybe it's about intimacy with the one who gives life in the first place. You can live 969 years and be a trivia question. Or you can live a surrendered life and leave a legacy. Still, you've got to admit, 969 years is impressive. That man must have had an epic beard by year 700. So the next time someone says, "You're as old as Methuselah," smile and say, "Thanks, but I'm aiming to live like Enoch." And hey, at least you're not older than dirt. Just older than everyone on it. If this made you laugh, think, or both, let us know in the comments. What would you do if you had 969 years to live? Let's see your creativity. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Walkers, where faith meets fun and ancient truth gets a fresh voice. Until next time, walk in wisdom, even if your knees crack like Methuselah's.